Hello, hello, hello. It is your boy, Dog Money. And today, guys, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to a new way of looking into the game for those who have no idea what Pokemon TCG Pocket is, or just in general the Pokemon TCG. Allow me to explain a few things about it. And this is definitely a beginner's guide to learning what the cards are, what the numbers mean, so on and so forth. All the nitty gritty about it. I did in the past make a deck building video, and for that video, I don't think I gave it justice, or at least enough of a description of what it means to learn about the game. I just briefly went over some of the cards, uh, things that you want to consider when making and building a deck. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and start with the cards themselves. So, in the Pokemon TCG Pocket or TCG, we have different types of Pokemon. So, as you can see here, Bulbasaur is a basic Pokemon, and he has a lot of little doodads in here where like it gives a brief description at the bottom right corner. It says there is a plant seed on its back right from the day this Pokemon is born. The seed slowly grows larger. So that gives you just a little brief description of the Pokemon to kind of learn a little bit about the Pokemon. And next you have the at the bottom, let's focus going bottom up. uh Weakness. So when it's battling a different type of Pokemon, we have different types. We have grass, we have fire, we have lightning, we have water, we have fighting, we have dark, we have steel, and then we have colorless. In other words, they would be considered a normal type Pokemon, but for the sake of this game, colorless. And that just it plays really well in the game, and we'll go more into it. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. And then down here we have retreat. So down here on weakness and retreat, the fire gives it a 20 plus. So if Bulbasaur battles a fire type Pokemon, which in this case, a good example of that would be Charmander. Charmander is a fire type Pokemon. If it uses its attack here is Ember, and it has a little brief description of what happens or the effect if you were to use this move. Then there would be either a benefit or a cost. Discarding an energy would be considered a cost. So if you use Ember, it would deal 30 damage regularly. However, because Bulbasaur is weak to fire, it does 20 more damage, totaling a 50 damage to the 70 HP of Bulbasaur, leaving it down to, which would be the difference of 20 HP. So, that being said, when building a deck, you want to consider, you're going to keep the thematic for the most part because there is what I call synergy benefits support when running a one type card. So, for example, just pure grass. There are cards that benefit from just doing that. However, if you are going to be in the more competitive scene, then you're going to have to either mix it up or protect them the best way you can. At the bottom left corner, we see Ilus, period, Narumi Sato. That is the illustrator, or in other words, the artist behind the art of this Bulbasaur that you see in front of you. Right below it, you see a diamond. That is called its rarity. So it's a 1 diamond rarity, usually considered a common. So you will commonly be getting these cards when you open the packs. So the likelihood of it, as you open a pack, is common. So this is a grass type Pokemon. 70 HP, hit points. So that's letting you know how many points you have. This game is mainly a numbers game, just like any other game. So you take um, the big cards that we have in the TCG, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a big number game, but also a big language game as well. We also have Magic the Gathering. We have obviously Pokemon. We have Uno. Uno's actually, believe it or not, Uno is much tougher than Pokemon. So if you're crushing it on Uno, then you will have no problem playing Pokemon Pocket, at the very least. And then there are other games, but majority of the TCG, there is a numbers game, and you got to apply math into this, and you also got to apply at least a basic level of literacy. So there's that. And then retreat here is just letting you know that you will have to give up one energy in order for the Pokemon. So say for example, Bulbasaur is in the active spot. You will need to retreat one of its energies and make sure that he has energies. Remove it, and it will then retreat to the bench, and then you will have to choose a different Pokemon to switch with. If you don't have a different Pokemon to switch with, then you will not be able to use retreat. So keep all of those things in mind. But again, once you start playing the game, you start developing this basic sense of the game, and it just all becomes second nature, if you will. So now over here we have Ivysaur. Ivysaur, obviously, as you evolve, things start progressing to get a little bit higher in numbers. So down here, or up here more like, on the top left corner, we have Bulbasaur, and it says Stage 1. So what Ivysaur is considered to be a Stage 1 evolution. So when you evolve from Bulbasaur, because you gotta have Bulbasaur in the field, you evolve it to Ivysaur. Now Ivysaur has 3 energies, so you need 1 leaf energy, or grass energy, and then 2 other. It doesn't have to be grass, it can be 2 others. So this is where mixing it in with other types starts to play well. And as you see, retreat cost is now 2, diamond rarity is 2, but the weakness remains the same. And so far I've seen that when it comes to weaknesses, it's always been 20 plus so far here in Pocket. So it might change in the near future, it might not. So I think right now it's just 20 because it's keeping it balanced, and they're doing a somewhat of, well, yeah, I would say somewhat of a really good job in keeping the game balanced. There isn't one deck that's more better than the other. More better. Me talking about literacy over here. But yeah, so that being said, 60 damage, 90. And then moving on, now we have Venusaur. Venusaur is now considered to be a Stage 2 evolution. So you will need Ivysaur on your bench or on your active spot in order to evolve into Venusaur. And as you can see, energies are bumped up to 1 more. And when you use Mega Drain, it deals 80 damage, but then it also heals 30 damage if Venusaur has any damage dealt onto him. As you can see, hit points on the top right corner is 160. Retreat cost is now 3, and it is a Diamond 3 rarity. So all these things will change depending on the Pokemon. So you gotta, get familiar with them as you play and learn more about them. Now over here we have Venusaur EX. It is the same Venusaur. You will not need a regular Venusaur to go into Venusaur EX, but you will need the Ivysaur. So it is still like thinking. Think of it as a replacement for the regular Venusaur. So this Venusaur evolves from the regular Ivysaur that you have on the field. So now you have 2 moves, which starts with 3 energies: Razor Leaf dealing 60, Giant Bloom dealing 100, and you heal 30. And then the HP count, it's much higher for EX Pokemon. So this one you're seeing 190, which is, wow, almost 200. It is crazy. Venusaur EX is just too good. Too good. So the thing about EX is because there is such a big benefit to playing him. Uh, when an EX is played down here at the bottom right corner, it reads EX rule. When your Pokemon EX is knocked out, your opponent gets 2 points. So there is a benefit and a cost, and it's leveled out like this because EXs are really good cards. They change the flow of battle. So if you're gonna play an EX, you gotta, be careful. Make sure you have potions to heal. Make sure you have things that protect your EXs. Or just be sure that if you're gonna be playing them, that you're gonna be on the winning end of all of this. Um, Venusaur EX is a 4 diamond rarity, so a higher rarity than the others. So getting a Venusaur or any other EX, the likelihood of it becomes a little bit more difficult to get. Just a tiny bit more difficult. Alright, so now that knowledge applies to all of these cards. Doesn't matter the type, doesn't matter the stage of evolution. They all have retreat costs. They all have weaknesses. They all have different amount of HP. And it's just a big variation of the same thing all around. So understanding the basic concept of the layout of the card and the card game, it becomes really easy. Just start playing the game, start doing the beginner or intermediates, and really start just playing the game, and you'll start to see like, okay, there really isn't too much to remember and to consider when playing the game. And it actually becomes way, 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 way easier. That at that point, when you've already played, I want to say a fair amount of to get a really good understanding of playing the game, would be like perhaps 10 battles, and that's just if you're just running the same deck. You're running the same deck, you know how it plays, you know how the flow of the game goes, and once you complete 10 battles, you get that basic understanding locked in, and from there you start evolving yourself. You're a basic Pokemon right now, but then you start playing more. You then evolve to a stage 1, and then once you already got enough wins under your belt, you become a stage 2 evolution. And then once you already master the way you play the game, then you yourself, ladies and gentlemen, are a EX. Yeah, that's right. You are an EX master. Because at the moment, there is nothing better than an EX in this game. And there are different variations of the card game, of the card in the game. Sorry. And right now, we're barely being introduced the EX cards. Later on, it's not just going to be EX. It could probably be something else. It could be GX, just like in the actual TCG. Could also be just, again, other things. I can't remember from the top of my head, but there are other things to consider. So these are the different Pokemon, different typing. Dragon type is also a type. I think I missed that one. But for right now, these are the types, and these are the Pokemon. Now, there's a little bit of a difference here. So right here, this is an item card. It's a trainer card. And it is also a Pokemon card. As you can see in the top right corner, it says HP 40, the Helix Fossil. So play this card as if it were a 40 HP basic Pokemon. At any time during your turn, you may discard this card from play. This card can't retreat. So you may play any number of item cards during your turn. So this is good to know. So what this means, this is a Pokemon. Technically it's a Pokemon, but it is a trainer. It's not an actual Pokemon just yet. So what do you use the Helix Fossil for? What do you use the Dome Fossil for? And there are other fossil cards out there. So for, what is it? Helix and then Dome. Oh, Dome actually is here. We would use Kabuto, as you can see on the top left corner, stage 1. So Kabuto is a stage 1 evolution. And this boy right here evolves from that fossil. So you would need it to then play this Kabuto card. And then once you're done with that, you then evolve it to Kabutops. And the benefit is actually pretty good. I actually like Kabutops because when he attacks, it deals 50 damage, but then you also heal from the same amount of damage, so potentially the 50. Now, if you're playing, whoops, gotta charge it. If you're playing, let's say Lucario, which bumps up the damage count on this Kabutops, not only is it gonna deal 70 damage, but it will also heal 70 damage, which is insane. And then there's also the benefit of the weakness. So say if it deals 20 more on top of that, that would be 90. So then you basically have a fully recovered Kabutops. It goes crazy. It goes crazy. And you start learning these things, you start comboing off, you start developing different synergies with different cards. It goes insane. This game is just wow. I did crazy. You start cooking, you start becoming Gordon Ramsay. Start cooking and stuff, and you're grilling and you're charbroiling, you're smoking, you're going bananas, right? You're going bananas. Helix fossil is Ammonite, if you were wondering. And then now we have supporter cards. Now, supporter cards are really good. So much that you may only play one supporter card during your turn. So you got to be very careful in which card you're going to play and what order as well. Because if you don't, you're going to misplay. And if you misplay, that's basically giving up one turn that you could have benefited from capitalizing or going ahead, is what I would say. So Erica here heals 50 damage from one of your grass type Pokemon. Simple as that. Simple as that. And they all do different things. So make sure to get familiarized with these cards, because you're going to need them when you're deck building. Supporter cards are really good. And usually I don't run a whole lot of them. It just kind of depends on the deck. But usually it's more items than supporters. Now, these that you're seeing, they're just, different rarity cards. And some of them, it really gives you a story, when you see these cards. These are monsters, by the way. These are not your regular animals. This ain't your regular dolphin over here. This is a sea serpent. And my goodness, ferocious one at that. And you get to see the cool side of these Pokemon. The artist just went just bananas on it, and it looks amazing. I mean, wow. I'm a huge fan of the art. They can be cute, like the Eevee. And then these are just again, a higher rarity of the card. So we have the full art over here. We got the Charizard right here. Ooh, he looking good. And then the same thing with the trainers. And right here we have what we call come on. It's like a diamond border. It's a 2-star rarity, but it's a diamond, a rainbow border Articuno. So pretty cool. I think this is my only one that I have. Never got lucky getting a different one. So, and then we have immersive arts. So these, the Charizard EX, Pikachu EX, Mewtwo EX, Mew. There's different ones. They will all play you an awesome immersive little video of the card, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. They go crazy. And yeah, and that's that for that. And they play as the regular cards too, so they're no different. They're all the same. Now we're gonna go ahead and skip down. There's more item cards to consider and more art, and I think that's about it when it comes down to the other things. So now we have things like this where we see a little stamp on the right, and it's a Pokeball. These are the promos that you receive from playing the game. You get these as special drops when you start completing the event, and then you get to pull them. They are exclusive to that event, so when the event comes up, please take advantage of that event, or else you will miss out on these promos. I think you're still able to trade them. I think. I haven't done it myself, so I can't really say. And then, for example, the Manaphy here, it has the Chansey Wonder Pick stamp on it. Now, these are also on the same level of, they only appear for a certain amount of time, and if you don't pick them up, then they're gone. Then your best chance of getting one would be to trade with someone. And let's see, and I think that's about it. And then there's these exclusive promos that you get only through buying the monthly pass for Pokemon TCG Pocket, and that would be this Pikachu. Very cute. What else? Oh, this Piplup. Adorable. This Darkrai EX was part of it, I think. What else? What else? Oh, this Moltres EX was also part of it. I think I'm missing. Oh, yeah, and these two. The Pikachu and the Mewtwo. So these were only, you could only get them through a paywall. You pay for it, and then you get them. And yeah, and then we have more items here. So just remember, when it comes to building these things, I would refer back to my first video on deck building to know how to build. I think I went pretty good in depth with how to build the deck there. So I would check that video out. But for, brief description of what each card means and what it does, you're just going to have to go into it. And I basically gave you the rundown of the card itself. And when it comes to applying it, there's only one best way of doing it, and that's by playing the game. Play the game, try it out. I promise you, it's going to be easy. If you lose, that's fine. The whole point is to learn how to play the game. And if you win, we're learning. We can only go up from here. Entering and watching the video and learning from it, you are already gaining more knowledge than you had yesterday. Or 20 minutes ago. Yeah, so that being said, thank you so much for watching. This is your boy Dog Money saying, you got that dog in you. Ow, 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 baby. Yeah, bye. And yeah, consider liking and subscribing. Yeah, bye.